especially for those of you who really want to be a millionaire and you're not just talking. If you're just talking, then there's a club for that. They look great. They wear all the t-shirts that say that they're a boss and they're doing nothing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person behind you.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of WorkHARDAholics. For those of you who are wondering, what does it mean? It's the movies and the shakers always doing something. If you want to be in balance and get some more green, WorkHARDAholics. Woo! Welcome, 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 bienvenido. We are glad to have you here with us for another episode of WorkHARDAholic. That's right, we're addicted to it. We love what we do and we do it well, and we keep doing it and doing it and doing it well. And so here's the deal. For those of you who are making plans for your weekend, and they include some quality time with some of the work from the office. It includes that you're working on your new book, you're updating your social media, you're checking your schedule. If you're like I am, you're fixing what am I doing with my speaker reel stuff? I'm updating all of my speaker information because, of course, Christina with a C has created all of my new information, and now it must be uploaded, it must be marketed, it must be shown to the world. And I'm pleased to spend my Saturday. Oh, I can't work this weekend. Okay, sorry. Sidebar. I'm going out of town. I feel sad about that. If you feel sad because you can't get some work done, then I can tell you now you are probably a workaholic. But in addition to the working, we do so much. Like for me, this weekend, I'll be on the road, be back in town. There's always a festival, a concert, an event. Even with social distancing, I will have my mask. Oh, my mask is over here. I'll have all that information and hit the road, Jack. As a workaholic, we're doing it. And kudos to you. But here's the thing. We live in a society where people judge us. And they're like, you don't have to work so hard. You don't know what I have to do. Here is the deal. There's a saying that I love, and I'm probably going to misquote because, that's what I do. Sometimes I misquote. And so but the basic of it is I do the work, I do the things that others won't do today so that I can live the life that they can't tomorrow. I said that pretty accurately. Let me try that again. So I do the work that they won't do today so that I can live a life that they can't tomorrow. So I put in all this effort now because there's going to come a time, and soon it shall arrive, that I'll live a life that others will be envious of. That's the bottom line. They're like, well, oh my God, I can't believe you have this and you have that. Well, yeah, remember when I was working all those Saturdays, and the fact that I went to the office every other Sunday, and that I did this and I did that. And when we were on vacation, I took those 2 hours out of our Saturday morning to, finalize that book. It's all worth it, people. It's all worth it. And if you too are that workaholic, here's the thing to know though. As a workaholic, sometimes we forget to take care of us, right? And so we like to come together Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch it in the replay, to make sure that we're all living better, doing better, being better, and businessing better, right? But that we're doing it in balance, right? I was born with gray hair. It's not all stress. Some of it are some of you former clients, but for the most part, really, it's just the natural order of things. So we want you to live a life that is pleasing and joyous and full, where you have the money that you need to accomplish what you want, the health of mind and body to be able to enjoy the money that you earned, and the mentality to master it all. Welcome. All right, so on that note, who am I? Okay, I am Shirley Crawford. I feel like you can just go online and look at my bio. And now that I say that, I don't think my bio is on the WorkHARDAholic website. It's in other places, I promise. So, author, speaker, executive director of Women's Business Center, podcaster, blah, 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 blah. Very qualified small business consultant of over 25 years. And it is my pleasure to bring what I know to you. So on that note, we generally start with our word for the week. Okay, and why do we do this? Because here's the deal. Something that we've recognized, realized, understood is that a lot of times we have engagements that are sometimes hostile. And a lot of the time that's based off of a miscommunication. And so you get into an argument with someone, and it turns out that there was a word that one of you either used wrong or knew as a colloquialism, as slang, or you just didn't know what the word meant. And so you assumed things from context clues, and one of you probably got it wrong. And the next thing you know, you're in a feud for 10 years and you don't know why. We try to alleviate that. We also try to expand our minds and comprehensions by learning a new word each week, or revisiting a new word each week, we should say. And so here's the thing. So this week, our word for the week is no drum roll, please. I don't know why that amused me, but it did. Thooiness. Like chewy, but it's thooey. And so it's TH, thooiness, right? And so that's really just about strength, right? That can be a muscular build, a muscular power or strength, or in this case, it could be mental. It could be whatever it might be for you. What is your thooiness? In what way are you thooey? Thooey. I'm amusing myself today, if no one else. So our word for this week is thooiness. Find every reason you can to throw that in a sentence somewhere. Do. Yeah. And so, as most of you know, I've talked a lot about my quantifiable goals, and they include my health and well-being, and I've shed a few pounds. Yeah, not enough pounds, but I've shed a few, but I'm starting to see a little thooiness. Very little. But I am seeing a difference in like how certain like clothes fit. And so it's been interesting to measure and note. That's all. It's just been interesting to measure what's going on there. But that actually takes me to a whole different but relevant point. A lot of times when we're talking about our goals, I always talk about quantifiable goals. If you are not considering all of the positive signs that you're on your way, those KPIs, do you all know what KPIs are? Your key performance indicators. If you're not looking at those benchmarks, you can get discouraged and even distracted because you're not looking at the right measurement. So in this case, I was talking about thooiness, about being thooey, being thooey. With regards to, I've said before, my quantifiable goal right now, I haven't shared with you all the number, but I have a physical number of what I want to accomplish with regards to weight management. In that vein, though, if all that I looked at was my scale, I'd be very easily discouraged. And it's also deceiving. So when you're making a goal, you have to also know like the research of the information. So for example, when it comes to your weight, when you are supposedly you're losing fat, you're often gaining muscle. So the scale itself might not change, or it might change in a very minimalistic way. And so you have to know what are the other ways to measure your success. So if I use once again the weight as an example, then I know for me, whenever I'm about to embark upon a weight loss journey or a health journey, I have other measurements. So one for me my favorite one used to be that I could participate on the praise and worship team of my church. And what that meant for me is that I could sing and dance at the same time for at least 30 minutes straight. I'm trying to tell you, praise and worship of my church is like a workout. It's really like an aerobics class. And so that was one of my former measurements, because that told me I had good cardio. All right. So for me, because I know that my knee got banged up in an accident like many moons ago. And so when I weigh too much, it swells and has problems. So I was like, okay, so there should be no pain in my knee. I also pull out an outfit, right? Just a random outfit to be able to say, hey, here's something that I used to be able to wear that I can't wear now. Can I wear it? That's another way of measuring. So whenever you are making quantifiable goals, when you're making goals for yourselves, another way to make sure that you don't deter yourself or discourage yourself is to make sure that you understand enough about the KPIs, those key performance indicators, those benchmarks, so that you don't get discouraged. If anything, you can look and say, okay, good job, you did this. That's why I love a good checklist. Yes, all of that from Thuiness. And you're welcome. So at this point, want to give a shout out to our sponsors, to the people who make this show possible, and also for anyone out there who is interested in being a sponsor, feel free to drop a message at admin@WorkHARDAholics.com. That's ADMIN at WorkHARDAholics.com. So this also tells you that I have been enjoying myself at both ends of the candle a lot recently. And so talking about getting THUI, when it comes to my business and the things that are surrounding it, been very engaged with a lot of different things, had a lot of different opportunities coming this way. And so here's the thing. A lot of times we're asking for, to get our business a little more THUI and to strengthen it, to make it bigger, to make it stronger. But you have to also recognize what is the work that has to go into making that happen. So as a WorkHARDAholic, you asked for it, you got it. Toyota. All right, so as we were saying, we're looking now to have a word from our sponsors. Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family. Alrighty then, so we want you to make sure you support those who help support us, because we're bringing it to you because they help us to do so. All right, on that note, at this point, we normally have our Socialita business check-in. We had her on the line. I think we lost her. So I want to say one of the things that we've been doing that I find very fascinating, and something we're going to be doing more of for the show. So listen up. If you are a small business owner, and you're looking to have us highlight, share information about your product or service, drop us a line and let us know. So what we're going to be having coming soon are business highlights. We haven't come up with a segment name yet, so if you all have a good name, let us know. But we're going to be having some time to really reflect about like products, services, things that are out there. On that note, I want to share, so Christina and I have been visiting farmers markets. Now, for those of you who do that all the time, you might not think anything of it. But in a desire to make sure that we're supporting local, supporting small business owners, that same... I talk farmers market. So that same tomato you bought at the grocery store, you could have gone to a local farmers market or co-op, which we have several of in the city of Richmond. And that way you would know that you're supporting a local farmer. You're also supporting a small business owner. And it's been a fascinating experience, because had several opportunities to talk to several small business owners, and to really just learn more about what they do and how they do. So the last one, I want to make sure I get it right because I'm not looking at the picture. Aunt Catherine's sweet potato pies. And so who else did we talk to? So I'll do better next time, I promise. So the point is, from this point on, we actually will make sure to stop to maybe review or maybe just share information about a local business owner, a business you might want to consider. And here's the thing that I warn anyone about. If we're not talking about like a paid spot and it's like an advertisement, and you all should know the difference, right? If we're talking about like we just want to review something, or you're saying, hey, I'd like you to, try my dish and, give a review on it. Okay, but that means if we don't like it, and we're going to say so. I think it's really important to share that we're not like the fluffy. Yeah, we're very honest around here. I'm honestly telling you that we're really honest. So, but we're going to do more of that in the future. So otherwise, we want to make sure we give a shout out to LMBT. That's Legacy Managed by Ty. So here's the thing. Right now, I know a lot of you are in that conundrum of either having property that you need to have managed, or looking for a rental property, or potentially looking for a house. I think I've mentioned before the difference between a referral and a recommendation, right? So technically a referral can be anyone. I'm just saying, here's someone that I'm sharing their information with you. So you say you want a camera. I'm like, oh, well, there's a camera shop. Richmond Camera is in Carytown. Go have fun. A recommendation is, oh, you need a camera? Well, let me tell you now, I actually do recommend Richmond Camera. Although the last camera I got at Best Buy. But I think the customer service at Richmond Camera is exceptional. Like, they really have a great knowledge about their products and their services. And so that is a recommendation. That's me saying, hey, if you're looking for that, you might want to consider this. Although I will say, once again, my last camera I got at Best Buy. And that's because I got a good deal on it. So I do love all the geeks at Best Buy, the people there who actually are aware of the product. They understand what you're looking for and what they can offer. So there is that as well. All right. So also I want to give a shout out to Readerix LLC with Speak to Your Spirit. So, and also Dr. Felicia Green. So for those of you, we've talked a lot about mental health and wellness. But also, so here are two different aspects of it, two different sides, and two different companies and organizations that can help you with it. If you are a business owner and you just feel stuck, especially if you are a female, a female entrepreneur or female small business owner, and you're just like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to handle this, I'm trying to get this down, and you just feel like you can't unlock the path to success, I would highly recommend, not refer, but recommend that you talk to Rita Ricks. I believe the website is speaktoyourspirit.com. She is exceptional at really digging behind. So once again, in the differences, like I do consulting. So when you come to me, we're talking, how's your marketing plan? How's your P&L? What do you know about your background? Do you have an LLC? What are the aspects of your business that we can dissect? We can analyze. We can help you get a plan. We can help you do a business plan. We can help you take care of the steps of your business. But if there are emotional or potentially physical things or spiritual things that are blocking you, then from really, like, a lot of times I've heard this said so many times and I never really got it because it's not me per se, but the older I get, the more I understand that a lot of times there are people who actually are afraid of success. Like the idea of being, it's amazing to me, but it happens a lot. And then there are so many of you who have imposter syndrome, or you have these other mental blockages that are keeping you from going and getting what you are destined to have for your business. I highly recommend that you see that you visit speaktoyourspirit.com and make an appointment with Rita Ricks or one of her associates, because she'll help you get unblocked so that you can get to that level of success where you're supposed to be. On the other end of that, if you are feeling stressed, if you're having difficulty relating and communicating with your child or your spouse, or you're just feeling fraught, dismayed, distressed, you're having anxiety, you're having issues more along that line, then I'd highly recommend that you visit Dr. Felicia Green. She's with Kaya Counseling. All right. So as we talk about that small business shout out, that small business, that social leader business check-in that we normally have here, just want to share with you a couple businesses that I think could really assist you, especially in this time, with some things that are very immediate. So when it comes to housing, I know right now it's a really big thing. That's when you can go visit LMBT, Legacy Managed by Ty. With regards to, you want your business to progress, but your mind isn't there with you, please go check out Rita Ricks at speaktoyourspirit.com. She's used a lot by the state with other organizations, so no slacker there. She's an excellent speaker, been in the business for some time now. You'll get something amazing out of that. Or if you're having some emotional distresses, which are probably impacting you physically, then I would highly recommend Dr. Felicia Green of Kaya Counseling or one of her associates. Just sharing. So once again, as always, we always like to do our Socialita business check-in, even though Socialita, we lost her somewhere in the technology today, but she's here with us in spirit. Alrighty then. So at this point, every week we like to do our book it moment, and I'm always thinking, book it, Dano. All right. And so our book for this week is Now Discover Your Strengths. And it's Marcus Buckingham and Donald Clifton, but it's in association with Gallup. So for those of you who might remember, Gallup does all these polls. So a lot of times we're quoting these statistics and we're saying, oh, according to the Gallup poll, this is how many people are going to vote this way, and this is how many people. Yeah, before there was a Survey Monkey, there was Gallup. And so they're still out there gathering information, and this book is based off of some of that information. And so I'm just sharing a little bit of it. There is some secondary pieces that I'm not going to go over. But here is a part of it that I thought was rather interesting. Muy interesante. And so one of the things that ask is, how can I manage around my weaknesses? Right? And so, and I found that fascinating because, like, we do this podcast. I help a couple other people to do podcasts, and I work with several people with regards to their marketing. And a lot of times, like right now, people, video is king. If you prefer queen, I don't care. The point is that having video, if you're in business, even if you're just representing yourself as your personal brand, and you don't have videos, you don't have a YouTube channel, you aren't out there making reels or shorts or something that you can utilize where you're using video imagery, you are behind the ball. You're just not where you need to be. I'm just telling you. And so, but when I talk to people about it, like, okay, well, let's go ahead and let's just go live. It amazes me how many people are unwilling to go live because they don't like their hair or their nose or their double chin, or, they can be saying something amazing, but they always focus on that one thing that's not perfect about themselves. Things that they think are physical weaknesses. And it always amazes me. It's like, because and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this person is a millionaire or the janitor in your building, who could also be a millionaire. It seems to be this universal, unilateral thing that most people look at themselves and see their weaknesses and their flaws, rather than embracing and enjoying their strengths and moving from there. There's a really big fascination with, I can't because I am this. And that is a lie. But I found it fascinating in the book when they talk about, like, how do you manage that? How do you manage around your weaknesses? Not saying you don't have any, just saying, how do I recognize that I have them and move along? So I'm going to read this little segment. And so it's like, yes, what about your weaknesses? Like, really? What about them? You have them? Okay. Everyone does. Let that be the first lesson. Everyone has them. It's like, can't we all just get over it? Okay. As described earlier, many of us are obsessed by our weaknesses. No matter how proud we are of our strengths, no matter how powerful these strengths can sometimes appear, we suspect that our weaknesses are lurking, dragon-like, in the depths of our personality. We hope that by now you have come to realize that your weaknesses are much less imposing, more like gremlins. Y'all remember gremlins? Y'all are kind of young. Perhaps than dragons. All right, so true, gremlins can cause some havoc and left it on. But the best advice is to focus on your strengths and ignore your weaknesses. Not so much, but to focus on your strengths and to find ways to manage your weaknesses. That's the best advice. To begin with, you need to know what weakness is. And here's what I love, their definition of a weakness. They define a weakness as anything that gets in the way of excellent performance. Am I the one who thought that was amazing? I still think it's amazing. So much so, I'm going to read it again. So, Buckingham and Dr. Clifton define a weakness as anything that gets in the way of excellent performance. I think it's amazing. And so they compare it to Webster's dictionary's definition, an area where we lack proficiency. But as you strive to build your life around your strengths, they advise you to steer clear of this definition for one very practical reason. Like all of us, you have countless areas where you lack proficiency. And isn't that the truth? So what they're saying is, based off of the dictionary definition, a weakness is where you don't have proficiency. But here is the thing. The implication of that is that you're supposed to be a master of all. Well, we all know you can be a jack of all trades but a master of none. Normally, mastery means I have honed in on a couple of specific areas and I have mastered it. And so, like, I was having this conversation with someone not too long ago because I am a dabbler. I am. I like to know enough. And I've talked to y'all before. I always use this phrase, which I always know is questionable. I don't like to be held hostage. And so if I am working on a book and my graphic designer is held up or wants to jack up my price, I want to know that that's fine. I can go do it myself. And I can. Or if I'm working on a website, which I don't like to do anymore, but if for some reason I need changes and our now website developer over there isn't available, I know I can go in and do it. Or if my accountant, if our CPA has decided that they're going to double their price because they've noticed some scarcity in the system, I don't have to go, oh my God, what am I going to do? That means I'm going to do my books until I get a new CPA. Right? So in my case, that's talking about I have enough information and education on various topics. But that does not make me a subject matter expert. That makes me someone who knows enough that I'm better than dangerous. Like some of y'all can get into real trouble by trying to fiddle with stuff. I'm not going to do electricity. I'm not going to be the plumber. Right? I'm not going to do any of those things. And that's what it means, though. So when it talks about lacking proficiency, if you are not a master plumber, and we had Luis Hidalgo, who also he runs the salsa festival that's the Dogwood Dell. He's also on the radio for a Hispanic channel that comes on the weekends, and he's also a master plumber. I didn't know there was such a thing as a master plumber. I learned a lot from him when he came. He came to the center and did a presentation a few years ago when we were doing the She Contracts program. And so learned a lot about as a master plumber, how they can like shut down a construction project. Like they can do all kinds of stuff. And you think plumbing, whatever. But here's the thing. they have mastered it because they have the education, they've learned everything, they have the experience, they have the technical knowledge. You cannot expect to be a master of everything unless you are going to, not master socializing, or you're going to miss something somewhere. So when they're talking about, as far as, not being, if you're going to be efficient, you can't be efficient in everything. You can't be the best in everything. So does that mean that that's a weakness? So if you're going by the Webster's definition of weakness, and that means lacking in proficiency, that would mean that we're all weak, which we all are. But you have to recognize and know that every area is in your domain. And when you accept that, then you can alter that definition of weakness for yourself, and you can use the definition that they're giving you now in this book. Now discover your strengths, and know that a weakness is anything that's blocking your path to excellence. So that gives it a whole lot more refinement than just, oh, well, if I haven't mastered it all, then I'm weak. No, that's a negative connotation we can drop. So that was part of the reason why I found it really fascinating, and part of the reason why this book is in my library. So on that note, go discover your strengths. Okay, have you seen a theme yet? So thus far, we talked about our word for this week, which is I feel like Blue's Clues. I know it's the 25th anniversary. How they're always talking to the kids, and you can hear them yelling back at the response. I wish we could have that in the studio. So we talked about our word for the week, which is, boys and girls, thooiness. All right. So that's that strength, and we want you to have a thooey business. Not a thuggy business, a thooey business. And at this point, we're actually going to carry our joy over, because in case you didn't notice the theme, our bookend moment for this week is now discover your strengths. Now discover your thooiness. That's what that's all about. And then I feel like I have to lean back, but I can't lean too far away from the mic. Otherwise, Christina with a C will get me. But we often talk about work hard, play harder, right? So one of our taglines, it's probably more like our motto, work hard, play harder, business better. And so as I was really reflecting about, I watched some show the other day, and it kept saying and the different pronunciations that people might use in the language based on where they're from. And so I was reflecting on Snow White. It is Snow White, right? Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Right? And so we all know in the story, it's Snow White with her rosy cheeks and pearly white skin and dark hair, and the sweetness of her life, that a bird would fly and just rest on her arm because she's so sweet. Here is the thing. Here is the real problem that our little witch had. The witch, I mean the real witch, not Snow White. Snow White is not a witch, people. Don't get confused. I mean literally her stepmother. Here's the problem that she had that so many of us have. Because she was never satisfied with who she was and what she had, and she had to find someone else to compare herself to, and the only way that she could feel better was if she thought she was better than everyone else. It's clear that that's a recipe for failure. It's obvious. And so we read the fairy tale and we're like, oh my God, why was she so narcissistic? Oh my God, she was so mean. She was so evil. She was so cruel. But if we take that same mirror and turn it towards ourselves, how many of us are the witch? Like, really? And not just from a personal standpoint, because I'm all about that business piece. In your business endeavor, how many of you are happy for someone else's success? You are an anomaly. How many of you are sincerely, you sit back and you say, I'm so happy for you, and you're not comparing, all right? Or contrasting, like, well, I wonder what they did to get this. Can we stop? I got so on back to the petty police. I got a message from one of my friends, and this is like, look, y'all don't hear me say the word friend. I have lots of associates. Yeah, I might have 5 friends. I should be able to count. I should know. I think it's 6 now. I have a limited number of friends. I have lots of associates. I have extended family. I have church family. I have my family. Yeah, but friends is a really big word for me. So I have a friend who I've had for some time. And talking about the petty police, she sent out a message about so she's been very dedicated and faithful. When we talk about quantifiable goals, she has some health goals as well, and she has been on it. I mean, she has worked hard, she's been faithful, and she is seeing the results. And for some, normally when she shares her results, I'm very much like, woohoo, yay! I'm very excited about it. Her last message when I got it, all I could think about was me. I did preface that with the petty police, like, it's petty. Right? And so, but that's what we do. We are constantly holding up the mirror to ourselves and going, how much prettier can I be? How much more money can I have? If I have the red bottoms, am I a better person? Oh, well, I'm clearly better than so-and-so because my hair is curly and hers is straight, or my hair is longer. Or, I mean, we really... Or my suit is custom made, so I know I'm better than you. Or our car, or our watches, or our offices. And from a business perspective, yes. I think I told you all before that when I worked at GE, that there was they like Capital One and some other companies, they had kind of gotten rid of offices. You worked in teams and you have cubicles. And so when I worked at GE, they were rolling. This is a long time ago. I haven't worked for them in a long time. But when they rolled it out, and so there were a few offices, but for the most part, the team were in cubes. But even then, you knew someone's status by the size of their cube, right? So we're still doing it. Like, talk about petty police. Like, we're still comparing ourselves based off of someone else's standard. And so when we talk about work hard, play harder, when you're working hard, if you're only working hard for status, it will always fall flat. It will never amount to anything. If you're only working hard because you want to have the big car, the new nails, the permanent eyebrows, whatever. If you're working hard so that you can have the image but not the substance, you will always end up shallow. Right? And so when we talk about work hard, play harder, it's because we know what we value. And so when we play, we do play hard. We do. But that play means, like, for me, I know that sometimes, like this week, I am going to go spend time with one of my great nieces. Looking forward to it. Love it. All right. I know that for me, my play hard includes the fact that because I work hard, I can literally, and I'm like today, I'm having an off day today, if you can't tell. And so I'm really thinking to myself that when the show is over, I have one task that I really want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to leave for the day because I have worked hard enough that I can do that. So we want you to be able to have a life that you can enjoy and experience and be a part of and do so much. But if you're the witch of the West, of the East Side, the North Side, wherever you might be, if you're that person, and if it helps you to make it clear, you can be a warlock as well, which just has a more stronger impact. I don't know why. Whatever that might be, if you're spending your whole life and time and energy on a compare and contrast to others, you have missed the point. So for today's work hard, play harder moment, it's a little different thought that I'm sharing with you all, and I recognize it. But I'm also hoping it's a different thought and mindset that you all will adjust to for your own lives. I want you all, when I'm reading your Facebook posts, which I don't do that much right now because I don't have time for social media at the moment, but I'm coming back. Or when I'm seeing you in your lives and And I can see that all you have is shallow. I just want more for you. That's all. So I still support the work hard, play harder, and to be in balance in doing so. But I want to make sure that when it's all said and done, that you're not surrounded by stuff that has little meaningful value and thinking that you wasted your life, your health, your youth, your time, your resources. That's all I'm saying. Live a life worth living so that when it's all said and done, you can feel like you finished your course, you finished your race, and you're really proud of how you ran it. Just saying. Okay. Well, we are about to say goodbye. Normally I'd be asking like, what's coming up? I have no idea. Here's the thing that's very interesting for those of you who are in Virginia. If you are elsewhere in another country or some other location, well, we're glad to have you. But for those of you who are local or even in the area, you'll notice that things are opening up. So like for Virginia, the state fair is happening. They sent a message saying that the 2 Street Festival was going to occur. I'm still waiting for like final confirmation. And those two things normally happen they start the same weekend. So I'm seeing more festival. The Folk Festival, one of my favorites. All of those events are some of my favorites. The Folk Festival is returning. And so I do recommend that you all still be cautious, because here's the thing to note. Whatever your political affiliation, your logical brain should share with you that even if you're vaccinated, you can still get COVID-19. And of course, we're still talking about the variants and other things. And even if you're vaccinated, the hope is that if you catch COVID-19, that you're not going to be on a ventilator. You're not going to be sick. You might feel like you have the flu. You might be a little sick, but you can survive. But keep that in mind that you are still able to transfer that to others. And so we would not like for any event in Richmond or nearby or wherever you are to be a spreader event. So, yeah, suck up the sacrifice, slap on a mask, keep your distance, and still we can have a good time. I'm just saying. Those are my 2 cents on the matter. So at this point, we're about to wrap up for the day. I'm really excited. Was that too high pitch? It could have been too high pitch because I really was excited. I'm really excited about some of the changes that we have happening here at WorkHARDAholics within the Imagine Media Lab studio, located at 1510 Willow Drive, direct across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. If you're looking to do a podcast, if you're looking to do anything with graphics or anything with it's a multimedia studio. So go check out the website, imaginemedialab.com. So, or on any of your social media platforms at Imagine Media Lab. All right, good folk. I think I'm about to go play hooky. Don't tell. Then I'm like, who are you going to tell? Tell my boss. Oh, you're going to tell me. It's okay. So, as I always like to say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta!